we live? All right, so I think that should be good. Focus your live stream and let YouTube insert ads for you. No, I don't want ads. Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for joining. Can you guys hear me? Am I loud and clear? Hey guys. So yeah, pretty interesting day, quite a bit to talk about. And yeah, so I wanted to quickly talk about Ethereum first, of course, because we are currently in, looks like, the process of scenario A. Now, I talked about this many times, but what I'm looking for, of course, the first indicator rather was to kind of pay attention to was the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame, what we needed to see, of course, was a break below the exponential moving averages. That was point number one. Now, point number two is a retest of resistance. You can see that we got one test confirmation. Personally, I like 3 test confirmations. That gives us the indicator that we are looking for a breakdown structure. But we also have this moveset looking to play out somewhere down here around 3,400. That's usually where the moveset started. That's likely where it's probably going to end up going, as well as the fact that if it does end up going into that range, the M formation is most likely to play out. Now, the thing about M formations, what you have to be very careful about is what you ideally want to do. So for example, let's say you're an aggressive trader and you enter the short on Ethereum here, and now you're in profit. What you want to do, of course, is you want to lock in a lot of your scalping opportunities, because of course the fact is, if you want a super safe trade, so someone that, you need confirmations and you're one of those people that, hesitates a lot, confirmation of a trade simply on the M formation would be a break structure of the middle portion of the M. So any break of this zone right here in between these, you can see we had quite a bit of support. Any clean break below that level, and that's your confirmation to be looking for the short back into 2,800. That's for, of course, my aggressive trader, or sorry, my conservative traders. For my aggressive traders, what you want to do is, if you want to wait until the exponential moving averages and you see that retest acting as resistance, then you want to short into the moveset of 3274. So the whole idea behind this logic is you ideally want to be following with the trade. And what I mean by that is you want to be, so for example, you know that the M formation is looking to play out. You want to short into the M formation. You don't necessarily want to counter trade, right? You don't necessarily want to be looking for long positions here or long positions down here. You are either following with the trend, so as the breakdown's happening, you're riding the short position towards the downside, or you're entering the short position midway. Once we get even more confirmation and you want to play it super safe, then you enter the short position. Our main target as of right now, looking at 3683 that has clearly rejected, our first target on Ethereum would be down at 2,800. Now, a lot of you guys thought I was crazy at 4,000, saying that we're going to end up seeing capitulation here soon, and it ended up happening, right? So these are things that, like I said, I noticed from charts from prior, and that's exactly what we're paying attention to as of right now as well. I don't necessarily want to be looking for some massive swing position here necessarily, but because of course the market could easily see something like this, and then we see a drop formation. But I just want to be scalping in and out of these zones. Mostly when it comes down to this M formation, I definitely want to be looking for that trade setup into the, at least the support level of 3274 from 3500. That's a pretty big difference in terms of that zone, right? So so if ETH is going to go down, Doge should follow. Yeah, so I'll talk about Doge in a little bit, but I want to talk about the overall market right now. I'm not really, crazy about Doge. So looking at Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin had a beautiful structure, right? We had a huge breakout from 63.9. Over the weekend, last week, I talked about 63.9. I told you guys, 63.9 has to act as resistance if we are looking for the breakdown structure to 59 and then possibly 52. Right now, we're pretty much in this larger consolidation zone, but what we want to pay attention to is the break of 59K. Any break of 59K, and I would highly suggest you guys be looking for shorting positions down to 52, because you can see there really isn't anything in between this zone right here. So if I were to zoom in on this chart, you will notice that in between this zone, when initially Bitcoin broke out, there was no resistance from 52 to 59. You can see within a day or 2 days rather, we had Bitcoin jump up from 52 to 59 without any sort of pullback or anything like that, is because there really wasn't much resistance in this zone. Just like from a drop perspective, if we end up breaking below 59, there isn't going to stop much from Bitcoin from falling, right? We really don't have any support at that zone. So that's why these trades are extremely profitable if you can catch them on the right move sets. And the right move sets are, of course, just waiting for confirmation. So my confirmation for Bitcoin would be right here at 63.9. 0.9. Any break structure below this and retest as resistance, it would look something like this. Now, going back to, just in terms of Powell's meeting that's coming up on Friday, there's going to be a lot of volatility, right? So I think, what day is it today anyways? I think it's like, Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. So yeah, we have about 2 days rather till, so tomorrow night is what I want to kind of pay attention to for you guys at least. Right now, if you guys are in trades, you're shorting, you're whatever, you're in profit, you ideally just want to be looking for scalping positions and being aggressive until tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, you don't want to be entering any sort of positions. And there's 2 reasons why. And I always explain this to you guys, and I need you guys to start really listening to this aspect of trading is, number 1, you don't want to hold trades over the weekend, mostly when you're entering over the week, because of course, there's a lack of liquidity, and B, there's a ton more manipulation. So this sideways action, you're going to be upset when your trade starts going the opposite direction, right? So we've seen that over the weekend many times where the setup over the week was completely bearish, right? We were in shorts, we were in profits, we locked in those profits. Some of you guys re-entered the shorts on the weekend and the market started to pump, and you're like, well, what the hell? Why is the market pumping? Yada, yada, yada. And that's what I'm saying is, so number 1, you always want to be, taking your trades Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. Friday, if you really want to trade, you can enter some scalps, but everything should be closed by the time market ends up closing, because all the big makers in the market usually make those trades during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On the weekends, you just pretty much have most price manipulation. Point number 2 is you want to be very, very aggressive with your trades, right? So when you're in a trade, for example, and you are looking into Powell's speech, so Fed meeting's coming up, the Fed meeting is going to happen. What I would do is, again, so if Friday is Powell's speech, then I'm just pretty much looking for trades until Thursday night. Thursday night, I am not looking, after that, I'm done. Like, I'm pretty much considering that trade as done. Everything's complete. I am not trading. I don't care if the news is the most bearish news in the world and yada, yada, yada. You guys need to understand, when it comes down to Fed, anything in related to Fed meetings or Fed news or anything like that, the markets tend to be extremely choppy, because I have traded Fed news many, many times, and they tend to be my most volatile days. And I realize that if I just don't trade on those days, then the overall, my overall win rate is extremely good, where I don't need to give up just random positions like that. So what I started doing was, on Friday, I would just enjoy the liquidation party, right? Because it would chop both ways. We would see the market have a huge wick, then a huge wick down, then a huge wick, and then the completion of the move set. But both ways, traders would get absolutely wrecked. And again, if you like high volatility times, then go for it, right? You're welcome to trade that if you'd like to. But me personally, I'm just not about that life, right? I'd rather, like I said, when it comes down to a 50-50 situation, I'm not interested in 50-50 situations. Personally, I'm interested in my trading plan. If I know that there's something that's going to happen in the markets that's going to end up causing more volatility, then I'm stepping away, right? And that's just a good rule of thumb a lot of you guys should have from a beginner standpoint, because you don't necessarily want your trading plan to get, extremely volatile with these wick opportunities. And then you guys ask me, oh, where's the video? And then the video looks like this. And I'm like, well, there's really no point in me making a video if it's going to be that choppy. But anyway, so in terms of Ethereum, yes, right now scenario A is playing out. We know the scenario is playing out. I mentioned scenario A to you guys here yesterday or 2 days ago, that 3683 is going to be the main level of resistance. That was the main area to look for those shorting opportunities if you guys wanted to. Of course, we had another area of opportunity right here, and now we have another area of opportunity down here. So we have 3 areas of opportunities for a short position as of right now. But what you want to do, of course, is wait for the exponential moving average to retest. Now, some of you guys take this literal, and this is, I guess, where the difference between my chat versus all the other, paid chats out there is. My chat, I don't give you guys, like, for example, TP, SL, enter here. Like, I'm not about that life. My job is to teach you guys to kind of spot these things yourself. Everything else in terms of that is on you. If you need a signal provider chat, there's thousands out there. You can go ahead and pay your monthly fees. But for my chat specifically, when I say, hey guys, we're waiting for confirmation, what confirmation can look like is something like this. It literally just goes to that level, hits it, and rejects. It's not, what I usually like to do is get the candle closed. That's what I teach you guys, candle close, and then you enter the shorting position. And that's why I do that, right? But like I said, with the exponential moving averages, you want to be very cautious with your entries. And I'll give you guys a perfect example of this. If you're one of those traders that, struggles with entries and whatnot, and let's say you enter here and now you're underwater. the best thing you can do for yourself is just fall in love with the exponential moving averages. Only look at the exponential moving averages as a point of entry. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're looking for a shorting position right now on Ethereum. You missed a short here, you missed a short here, and now you missed this short right here too on this break structure. Now you want to short. All you're going to do is you're going to sit on your hands and you're going to wait for the market to hit the exponential moving average. Once that level is hit, you enter your short. And the reason for this, of course, is because if you want to be an aggressive trader, you know, worst case scenario, you have already hit the short on the exponential moving averages. If the market structure ends up breaking back above those EMAs, then it was an invalidation trade anyways, right? You can play the chop from up here, but at least you're not playing the chop from down here. And for those of you that are wondering, well, what's the difference? Well, we're talking about $150 difference on Ethereum. So you can ride the drawdown from somewhere up here and in terms of chop positions versus down here. And this goes again for everything in the market, right? Like some of you guys always say like, oh, what do you do when you enter a position and it's immediately red? It is going to be immediately red. And you know why it's going to be immediately red is because of the fact that the market we trade is 4 hours in terms of time intervals. You can see there hasn't been, very rarely you'll see a perfect trading opportunity, but most times what happens is you'll end up playing the chop, right? So there's chop going both ways every single time. You want to short your bearish analysis and you know that it's going to be a shorting position. You have to understand that you are signing up for these chop positions, right? If you want to play it super safe, then you just enter on the wicks. Every time the market hits your wick structure, you enter a short. But that's going into more details. I'm just giving you guys a better perspective on how to kind of trade these position setups, because a lot of you guys I notice struggle with this area of opportunity is when it comes down to A, looking for a position, and B, locking in those profits. Point number B in terms of locking in those profits is the fact that if you want to be looking to lock in those profits, what you have to do is, of course, have some sort of rule set in your mind is this much percentage is I'm happy with. So in terms of my trading setups, at this point, I'm happy with this much money, right? So at that point, from a scalping perspective, let's say you can lock in 6-7% a day. That's extremely good. Most traders struggle to do that anyways, but that all depends on your entries, etc. But the same thing is, I notice some of you guys also struggle with this in terms of intervals is, you know, we'll enter a scalp position, we'll be in and out. I'll say in and out, be aggressive. And then like 6 hours later, like literally 6 hours later, the market does this, it breaks down, then it comes back up, and then I'll get a message from someone be like, hey man, I'm still in that short from that scalp. It's been 6 hours. What do I do? I'm underwater. And I'm like, man, like that's the issue is like when I say a scalp position, it literally means literal scalp position. You are in and out of the market. If you're playing a breakout trade, you are entering on the breakout, you are exiting. If you're playing a resistance trade, you are going long into resistance and you're exiting. There's no reason for you guys to be swinging these levels because, again, I explained this to you guys many times, market volatility is here right now. You don't necessarily have to hold a massive position to have a huge win rate. You can literally play all of this in between and continue profiting everything you kind of want to. So yeah. So let me just see. Let's see, but it's after candle close for confirmation when it hits the EMA. So it's usually after candle close is my rule of thumb. But if you're someone that, like I said, is super aggressive, then you can just enter on the EMAs. There's two types of traders. There's a conservative trader and there's an aggressive trader. There's benefits to having both types of traders, and I'll give you guys an example of that. For someone who's conservative, let's say they wait for the EMA break, but the EMA never happens, and then it just continues to fall. So that's, you know, that's one of the mistakes of thing. But from an aggressive trader, let's say, for example, same thing, right? So they enter the trade on the EMA and the market pushes up. So there's both sides to it, and you can decide which side you want to play. But most likely what I normally do is I'm a bit of both, right? So my biggest thing is I don't hesitate in the market. I just click on that market order. If I know that the market is short on the 4-hour time frame, sooner or later that trade is going to play out. I understand my drawdown. I understand where the proper entry is going to be, and I'll enter that trade and then continue riding it for the profits, right? So that's just pretty much how trading works in general when you're looking at it from a 4-hour perspective. But in terms of Ethereum on the daily, though, like I said, the daily is a very crucial point right now. If Ethereum ends up breaking below the EMAs on the daily here, that's a short confirmation from a swing trade aspect of it, because that's the exact level we're on right now, guys. I've talked about this before. We are here. So this is pretty cool, right? So look how perfect sometimes the price analysis from previous price works out, right? So we had the huge run up 40.28. We had the same nuke that happened from 40.28 down. We had the same exact pullback zone as of right now. You can see 36.83 is the same zone, and look where we are right now. So right here is the current daily we are on, right? So this daily right here is where we are at. looking to break the exponential moving averages. EMA's break, we get that pullback, and then Powell's speech would be right here. So it's kind of cool to see how like perfectly this analysis is playing out as of right now for scenario A. I mean, of course, you know, everything is dependent on Powell's speech. So if Powell, you know, it does come out bullish and then the market ends up pushing above 36.83, well, then we're looking for a V-shaped correction into all-time high. But everything is kind of depending on this area right now on 36.83, which is a cool part, right? So these are things that I teach you guys early on, and I show you guys like this is how it's lining up, so you can look for these trading opportunities in between. And the reason why I tell you guys that we're not looking for swing positions or anything like that is because, again, if it's 50-50 depending on news, right? If the news comes out bullish and we make a break of structure of 36.83, then great. If we see bearish, then even better. But I'm not trying to trade that 50-50. I'm just looking for those 4-hour setups in and out of the trades and profit along the way. Profit into the news, and then we just chill and sit on our hands, and then Monday morning we start again and rinse and repeat over and over and over. That's how we've been doing this for almost a year now, if you guys have noticed. You know, there's no reason to be kind of looking at it from that perspective of, oh, I have to hold a short position from 4,000 down to 1,000. Like, yeah, you might get a killer trade, but most, like, realistically, you're probably better off just, you know, scalping these ranges. But yeah, so let me just quickly go and look at the chat here. ICP, we can talk about ICP. I talked about it yesterday as well. ICP, like, you know, so I talked about this. So in yesterday's stream, I said the same thing. I said, hey, look, if we're looking for an ICP setup, I would be very cautious looking at this range right now. Would I be entering? No. And you can see why that played out perfectly now. And the reason why I said that I'm not looking for a long opportunity ICP or anything right now is because I want to see $16 be used as support. That level was a major resistance zone, right? So you see two tests. This was a third test breakout. This level should act as a support level, and then we get the confirmation for the next leg. So right now, if I'm looking at this trade setup, Again, I'll give you guys a perfect example of a nice scalping opportunity. So look at the current trade setup on ICP. You can see that we tested the exponential moving averages multiple times. Which EMA was not tested since then? Well, that was the 20 exponential moving average. What would I do in this sort of situation? Well, I would simply enter a short position on ICP and close on the 20 exponential moving average. Now, of course, it's in terms of risk to reward. It depends on what kind of trading style you have, but it's a very clean shorting opportunity, 50 cents into that range of 20 EMA. That 20 EMA is going to act as a magnet, and I'm sure later tonight I'll post the chart again, maybe in 4 hours, 8 hours, but this level will end up hitting sooner or later, and that's how we kind of scalp this range. So you can see even right now we're seeing a breakdown structure on this level on the 18 zone, right? And this isn't something that's rocket science. This isn't something that, you know, you need to really like think too hard on. When you see setups like this, like for example on ICP, this happens across the board. It's not just ICP specific, but when you have a setup like this, all you have to do, look at it from this perspective, right? Number one, extreme overbought conditions. We had a breakout trade. We're extremely overbought. We have multiple rejection candlesticks. We had a liquidity grab up here as well. Number two, exponential moving averages retested, now broken. Number three, look at where the 20 EMA is. Has the 20 been tested this whole way towards the upside? No. That is three reasons on why you want to be looking for a shorting opportunity on this trade. You enter your short. The reason why we close on the exponential moving average is because market can easily do something like this. Again, we're in a bull market, right? But we are right now, in terms of logic, the logic is we know that the 20 EMA has not been tested yet. That's it. That's all you have to see on the chart. Don't overcomplicate it. Right now, you know that the 20 EMA hasn't been tested. I'm entering the short. That's literally all you have to do. That's your logic. You're entering the short into the 20 EMA. You're locking those gains, and the market does whatever it wants to, but you already profited. So I think we started, what, at 18.55 when this conversation started? So like I said, I mean, on ICP, it's about 7 cents. In terms of leverage, 10x. It's pretty good profits even right now from a scalping position, but I would wait until the EMA is hit, right? So I would be looking for that short into the exponential moving average and then sitting on my hands and going from there. But that's just one setup of probably like hundreds of setups I can probably see in terms of altcoins as of right now, right? So, and that's just pretty much how I show you guys. Like when you have an altcoin that is extremely overbought, everyone freaks out and they're like, oh my God, I don't know when to short. I don't know when to short. And that's exactly how you short it. You just wait for those EMAs to break and then you enter those shorting positions on that setup. So in terms of Gala right now, I know some of you guys asked about Gala too. Gala does not look bullish by any means right now. This is almost the same identical M formation looking to play. I would personally be looking for Gala down here at 0.04, 0.03, and that kind of correlates. You guys see what I'm saying? Like everything kind of correlates together. If I'm bearish on Ethereum, I'm bearish on everything else. Like it's not rocket science. Everything's gonna fall as Bitcoin, Ethereum end up dropping too. So that's pretty much how you trade these zones. So I would suggest, like I said, if you're one of those people that, you know, is in these long-term bags, and continue holding your long-term, but from a scalping position, or like from a, what's it called, from a leverage position, that's just how I would trade these. Just scalp in and out, exit, and then continue chilling and doing your own thing. So I can't short on Robinhood, but I feel like I would make a lot more money. Flynn, you need to get off Robinhood. We talked about that. Robinhood is the worst platform, and if you go on the Telegram channel and you click on the pinned message twice, there is a there's a whole guide on how to do this. Like again, like, you don't have to sit there on Robinhood. Robinhood sucks. Pepe and Doge, please. So again, I mean, like the reason why I don't sit there and talk about Pepe is like, man, like I used to make Pepe videos a long time ago. Like I'm talking right here is when I was making Pepe videos, and then I stopped making Pepe videos. And the reason why is because right now Pepe is in a price discovery mode. Like technical analysis on Pepe is pretty much out the window, because of the fact that if you want to look at it from this perspective, sure, okay, there's your support, there's your resistance, and then you're pretty much in a sideways consolidation. Like, to me, there's not much profitability here anymore. Like you already had the range break here, and you had the whole move towards the upside. Right now is just, you know, it's sideways action. It's there's no point in making videos or even talking about this, because there's nothing of interest to me in terms of the chart. Now for Doge, yesterday I talked about this, and I'll make a video again shortly, but Doge right now is a little dangerous. And again, dude, it's not, oh my god, it's bearish on Doge. You got to listen to me. Doge is in a slow ladder case upwards. This is a slow ladder case upwards. We saw the same exact slow ladder case upwards here, and the market nuked, and Doge got slapped in the face. And that's what I mean. Right now, everything is dependent on 0.19323, whatever, that resistance. Once that level breaks, then it's a very nice scalping opportunity for a long position. Otherwise, you want to be very cautious looking for long positions on Doge, because again, look at Ethereum, right? If Ethereum looks like this and Doge looks like that, it's only a matter of time before one catches the other. If Ethereum sees a nuke, it's not like, oh, Doge is going to do its own thing. Doge falls with Ethereum as well. And we can see that time after time after time. We traded this time after time after time. You guys remember the bear market trade on Twitter when Twitter changed their logo? I said, hey guys, boom, Twitter changed their logo long, and then we immediately locked in those profits. Market fell back. Ethereum was falling, Bitcoin is falling, Doge ended up falling too. It's not a special coin. I don't care how much money you have in this position. I don't care if you don't want to hear it. Life sucks. Realistically, this will happen if Ethereum ends up dropping as well. We are bullish above 0.168. But if this elevator down does happen and this structure ends up breaking and retesting as resistance, then yes, we are falling right back into our main targets once again. So that's just how Doge works, regardless. So Doge is forming a bearish divergence too. I don't actually trade divergences. I know a lot of people do. Me personally, I'm like whatever about it. I know, like I try to, like I said, Fibonacci's, anything like that. A lot of people do like Fibonacci's and stuff. Like I feel like, to me personally, it's more noise. I prefer just the naked charting, and naked charting works extremely well for me. And I'm sure it works really well for you guys too. It's just easier to trade. You're not really drawing 40 different lines everywhere. It's just simple trading, and then it helps you as well in terms of take profits. Like I think the problem with Fibonacci or like retracements or anything like that is, like, you know, some people draw their Fibonacci, like it's like, okay, so let's just give you an example, right? So whatever, you draw your Fibonacci, and now you're looking at it like, okay, Doge has 0.168, but everyone's favorite level is 0.1499. That level hits, and you're like, oh my god, the level's hitting. And like it kind of overcomplicates your trade in terms of take profit too, right? So then now you're not only, like, from a logical perspective, you're not sitting there waiting for example 0.168 to play anymore from a take profit zone. Now you're sitting there contemplating like, okay, well, 0.168 is the level that I should take profit, but hey, on the Fibonacci 0.61 is down here. So what if I just hold a trade for 0.61 and the market bounces? You're like, what the hell? So that's why, like, I mean, over the years I learned personally, like I've done all of this. I've done all these, you know, little indicators and bullish divergences and stuff like when I was a beginner, but over time I just realized that it complicates my trading and it makes things a lot harder for me to figure out. Like I was sitting there, like, you know, thinking like, oh, this is a good short position, but there's a 4-hour bullish divergence. The RSI has a I'm sitting there like trying to, you know, play like, you know, like astrology here, and I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Like I think it prefer it to just kind of, again, if it works for you, great, but most times, like what I teach rather is just, we work better with just naked price charting. Naked price charting is extremely profitable, I think, and as long as you understand the exits and entries and how to do it with the EMAs are your best friend, and then they'll teach you pretty much everything else you need to know. Yes, EMA, yes, it is testing. Not right now, it's not exactly to the point of the EMA retest as of right now, but it's getting pretty close, right? So the EMA retest would be around 35.30, 35.40. Those would be the EMA retest. So if I was looking for a position from there, I would be entering right there for a scalp opportunity back towards the downside. But in terms of, let's see, yeah, so ICP, like this would be like, sometimes the setups are a little bit better on some other altcoins, so this would be a better setup for a scalping position down to 1801 or whatever. But yeah, just again, these setups are extremely profitable as long as you know that the overall trend is going to be going, like scenario A is our overall trend right now. If we know scenario A is looking to play out, then every single setup, I'm just looking for shorts alongside with it. I'm not looking for longs all of a sudden. The only time we would be long is, of course, the EMAs were being used as support. And this is, again, one of those lessons, right, where I teach you guys, like, there's a lot of noise in this market, right? So, and a lot of traders that think that they know everything out there and they're perfect and yada, yada, yada. So over analysis is a thing. And what I mean by that is, let's say you have a bearish analysis, scenario A, I talked about it, you see it on the chart, and then all of a sudden, I log out of the stream, and then you're sitting there at night and you find another YouTuber, and all of a sudden he starts talking about trend lines, right? So like he's saying like, oh guys, Bitcoin's on the perfect trend line, hasn't broken this trend line in a very long time. Like, just something like this, just an example. Or, if you want to make it perfect, whatever, you get my point. But he's saying something like this, and he's like, oh, Bitcoin's on the perfect trend line. Bitcoin's going to see $80,000. And then now all of a sudden you're sitting there like questioning yourself. You're like, is scenario A really going to play out? Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean by over analysis. Like a lot of times what I would do is I would go into a position. This is back in 2018, 2019. I would go into a position, and then immediately after I would go on TradingView, and I'd just go to ideas. Like, I don't know if you guys ever see that tab. It's like other traders and what they're thinking. And I would just sit there and then just go through everyone's idea, and then I would end up closing my positions too early because I'm like, man, Joe Schmo 68 said that this is how it's gonna go, and he's had this much more karma than me, so I have to end up closing this position. So that's something that you have to practice, I think, is just block out the noise, focus on your analysis, and then continue from there. You don't necessarily want to overcomplicate your life. So let's see. I need to learn EMA better. How do we get the EMAs you have in your chart? So EMAs, I actually have full videos on it. I have, it's all on YouTube. Just Pingu charts indicators. I don't know if someone can find it and link it in the chat real quick. But all the videos are there for you. Okay, guys, hold on. Real quick, okay? I need to have a serious conversation with all 44 of you in here. Now, this is a dangerous conversation because it's a dangerous road. And I don't necessarily know if I want to go ahead with it. But I just want some opinions here, okay? So I've been thinking, like deep down thinking, like, should I change? Okay, let me start over. Right now, what we have in terms of Telegram is we have our Telegram channel, and I post, and that's it. Like, that's it. That's super simple. Everyone's happy. You guys hit me with your emojis. Now, I know there are benefits to having a Discord server and talking and having a community and yada, yada, yada. There's also dangers of that as well, right? That's where you have trolls come in, you have literal fights and warfare that starts, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there like, babysitting a ton of you guys. It's been about a year and a half now where I haven't had a Discord, like in just general, I don't have a Discord channel where you guys can talk amongst yourselves. And I know it's beneficial, but again, it's dangerous because it complicates my life a lot more. And I hope you guys understand that too, is like, everyone thinks it's going to be great, but there's downsides to having a Discord server too. So, I don't know. I'm just looking for opinions. Like, I'm pretty community related. You guys are my community, and I always take your inputs. I think about it a lot. Right now, in terms of Telegram, things are extremely organized. And I send a chart, everyone clicks on the chart, everyone sees the video, and then life goes on. The thing about a Discord server is it would be more community-based. And what I mean by that is, we can have areas where you guys are posting your ideas, and you guys are doing your own thing, and yada, 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 and then you guys are talking amongst each other. But yeah, so I'm just curious. So if you are interested, and again, this doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I'm just thinking. I just want a community feedback. But would you guys like a Discord server, or would you guys not? Would you guys prefer the way things are? So one is if you want here, I'll do this in chat. I'll make this. I'll make it easier. One Discord to keep it the way it is. Okay, there's a message in the chat. So can I just get like a number 1 or a number 2? Again, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I know you guys, some of you guys have been begging for this for a very long time. I'm just trying to think if yeah. Simple 1 1 2 2 2 2. Yeah, okay, 2. So it looks like 2 is winning right now. 2 is winning. Okay, keep it the way it is. Okay, cool. We'll keep it the way it is then for now. Again, like I just wanted to ask, you know, how you guys, I value these opinions, and I know there's benefits to both, but again, like the problem is, guys, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. The reason why we don't do the Discord, and again, this is my logic, is because, for example, let's just look at the Telegram real quick, right? So in Telegram, I post this message, right? So I said, boom, M formation of EMA and rejecting as well. Highly suggest playing this any break of 3300 and cascade to 2800. Now, the problem with having a Discord channel is, for example, let's say I post this real quick in general chat. Now you have 50 new messages and you're getting off work or something, and then you're going to read that and you're going to be like, shit, I missed it. I don't know what the hell he was talking about. Or, of course, we have a dedicated channel, and then you know, there's too many notifications and you're like, I can't do this Discord shit. That's the only reason why I don't have the Discord, is because to me, Telegram, like, it's super simple, right? I just post what I need to, and then we move on with our lives. So, but I understand the community aspect of it. So again, maybe in the near future, maybe for you guys that want it, we can do it. But right now, let's just, okay, so thanks for the inputs, all right? I'll just move on from that. So yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about in terms of current market structure or anything like that, or any questions rather? I don't really have much. Like I said, I do these streams. I started to do live streams a little bit more, only because A, you guys get to talk to each other, right? So you guys are, you know, see who's in the chat, and other than that, and B, like, I do have a little bit more time on my hands right now because the weather's so cold outside that I don't mind just doing these live streams for us. But I'm just curious if you guys have any other questions or anything you want to talk about. I try to keep these streams, like I said, like what, 40 minutes in between. So we got like 8 minutes left of anything. Please see my message above before we started voting. Let me see. So you're looking at okay, so yeah, sorry, Stockman. So you're looking at a possible range of 3280 to 3683 for ETH. If it dips below 3280, then 2800. If it's above, then 4000. That's correct, yeah. And do recommend sitting on sidelines till we see it goes either way. So the sideline question, like I said, if you want to play a super conservative, then from a perspective of sidelines, you ideally want to wait until this structure right here at 3274. So from an M formation, if you don't want to play this chop here, you wait for this, you see structure break here, you enter the short. Then you are locking your profits or whatever you're doing down here. But that's how I would play this if I'm playing it super conservative. But right now, looking on Ethereum, to me on the 4 hours, this is not bullish by any means. Like, you know, you can see this as something like that, but the problem is the amount of rejections we had, as well as this volatility and liquidity grab, and now we're retesting the EMAs as resistance. To me, this looks a lot more bearish on the 4 hour time frame. But, you know, given how Ethereum has been, everything is dependent on Friday for Powell. So, yeah. What are your top 5 altcoins that haven't gotten much attention? I can make a video on that. I've been meaning to do a video on that, and just hold on, pause. Not a YouTube video. I'm not gonna do like a YouTube video on that and be like, oh my god, my top 5 altcoin picks, you know, like stuff like that. But I was thinking of doing a little bit more, you know, TikTok stuff. I mean, I don't know. Actually, okay, I'm gonna be real. The problem is why I don't do videos like that is because I don't have a thumbnail guy. Like, guys, keep in mind, it's just me. It's not like I have a team like everyone else and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Right now, it's literally just, it's me, myself, and I don't know, in terms of, like, you know, I'm not very good at thumbnails myself, and it takes a while for me to have a thumbnails guy. So, and the other problem with that is the fundamental side of things. Like, I can give you guys my altcoin picks, but then people are gonna be like, okay, well, what's the technology behind it? And it's gonna be like, bruh, like, I'm not gonna sit there and, you know, explain the white papers to people. There's other YouTubers that do that out there, but my content's a little bit different. But I do have altcoin picks, and you guys saw my picks early in October, and they all played out extremely well. But yeah, it's just, again, I don't know yet. Quick question: should I keep my long on Doge till Ethereum retest EMA as resistance? Flynn, you can hold your long as you're above 0.168. If 0.168 is broken, then you don't want to do. How do I do a trailing stop? Nick, you can do a trailing stop on Fairdesk. If you just put, so like I said, right now a trailing stop, the way it works is basically a stop loss and profit, right? So let's say this is your trade, you enter, now the trade's up here. What you want to do is you want to move your stop loss. So like once you end up breaking above and you're good in profit, you want to move your stop loss into profit. So let's say, you know, you're at 35.10, you entered at 34.84, your stop loss should be around 3,500. So this way, in case the market does come back down to 3,500, you already locked in those gains. You don't want to do trailing stops or stop loss in profit immediately when you enter, because most likely 99% of the time you're getting stopped out. So yeah. Are you still positive on the ICP short to 1801? Am I still positive on that? Yes, it's a 4-hour time frame, and that's what I mean, right? So it's just in 4 hours, and the reason why, like, a people are like, oh, you know, this is a volatile, yada yada. So what you want to do is you want to understand that you're on a 4-hour time frame. Right now, we just had, like I said, the 1 hour, and now the 1 hour is probably going to pull back. So that's why when you want to trade the larger time frames, you have to understand there's going to be chop in between. It's not just going to be a perfect boom in and out, right? Like you can see it happen this multiplying. Like, look. So if you were looking at it from this perspective, you knew that this was starting to get bearish. You enter a short, you saw the market hit your range like 4 times before it finally fell down, right? That's just basic market though. You have to understand that it's going to be volatile regardless. And this is what I meant by trading plan. So you want to be cautious on that. You want to make sure that you get the best possible entry and then go from there. So let me see. Let's see what else. So the best way to enter a short position, my indicators, is the EMA. That's correct. So are you, yes, there's AI for TikTok, huh? How do you usually use the EMAs for swing trades? What do you mean by that? So like, how do I use my exponential moving averages for a swing trade perspective? Well, it's simple. On a daily, so I just open up the daily chart. This is super easy to do. Again, this works pretty damn well. What you want to do is step 1, there's 3 confirmations you're looking for. Step 1, you want to see a break of the exponential moving average, okay? So once you see the break on the daily time frame from a swing position, you get the break. Step 2 is waiting for the retest on support. Once you get the retest on support, that's confirmation number 2. Confirmation number 3 is a breakout of range. So right here, this is, you can see the range was 2,500. Market structure broke. 3 confirmations. You enter your long swing position. Whoop-de-whoop-de-doo. You made a bunch of profit. You can see multiple examples of that on the chart, but that's just how I would trade the if I'm swinging on the exponential moving averages, that is how I trade. So get you a graphic designer. Hey man, like trust me, the problem with graphic designers is they charge an insane amount of money, and I personally, like I said, I mean, I have a thumbnail guy, but you guys can see from my YouTube videos, it's like some of the thumbnails overlay with each other. And you know, that's just how it is, because my content's like 3 to 4 minutes long. I talk mainly about chart analysis, and you know, the whole point of the channel, like the whole point of this channel is I just want you guys to absorb as much information within those 4 minutes of the technical analysis and move on. Because what I hated when I was, of course, you know, in terms of when I used to be a beginner and when I was watching YouTube and trying to learn this stuff, was like those YouTubers that would make a 23-minute video and try to milk their advertisement sponsorship, you know, because YouTube pays you more if you do 10-minute videos. So, you know, they milk the 10 minutes. So they'll start off with like, they'll open up Coin Market Cap. They'll talk about, you know, random shit news. And then they'll be like, okay, let's talk about analysis now. Then they'll talk about analysis, and they'll talk about their paid mentorship program, and they're selling this course, and their VIP group made this much money. They'll give a whole spiel of that. They'll give like a 1-minute analysis, and this is the next setup. And then they'll go back to their normal bullshit. And to me, like, that was like, man, that's such a waste of my time. I got better things to do. So that's why, like, when I launched this YouTube channel, I did the same thing, right? Like, you guys see, I don't have in between the video, I don't have random sponsored ads. I don't talk about random coins. I don't give you guys, I literally just say, this is the analysis, and then have a good day. And that's it. That's why, you know, I feel like it works out better like that too. Is SHIB following the way you believed it would follow? No, SHIB is, again, yeah. So SHIB in terms of general price predictions, like long term, I'm extremely bullish on SHIB. Right now, SHIB, in terms of price analysis, it's starting to show weakness, but as long as it holds above 29 or above these EMAs, then we are looking for a continuation trade. Any break below this zone, though, and unfortunately, we fall right back down. So it's a crucial zone for SHIB, but I would wait for confirmations on Shiba. I'll make a video later for you guys, too. My brother is a very good signed record label, does album covers mainly, but I'm sure he could work with you. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Supa is like, it depends how much he charges, yada yada yada. Like my thumbnail guy is pretty good. It's just I think he's in Russia or something, but he takes like a long time to make thumbnails. That's the only downside. Where is the buy zone for Solana? You know, it's been a while since I actually talked about Solana. Solana had a moment of like crazy volatility because of meme coins, and everyone in the world wanted to look into meme coins. But Solana right now, I think, has slowed down. So yeah, we're at 184. It's actually retesting its resistance. The first buy zone on Solana was at 134, which did happen. They ended up playing nicely. Personally, I think the lowest buy zone you possibly get on Solana first buy zone would be somewhere right here. Right at 154, I think that was in the last level I talked about. So yeah, 154 would be the zone that I would be paying attention to for a buy opportunity on Solana. Any break of that, then 134. Any break of 134, and then yeah, probably more. I won't talk about 134 breaks what happens, but for Solana, those are your two levels: 154 and 134, if that makes sense. Why do you like penguins so much? Penguins like penguins like the NFT penguins, or just in general? I don't really have a reason in general if you're asking me. I think like I told the story before. I just woke up one day and I'm like, all right, Pingu, and then the videos charts, and that's it. That's what we're going with. And then I started making videos on that. It was just a random animal. I didn't know what other animal to make. You know, I just like people like penguins in general, so that's why the channel name was there. Yeah, you should hang tight, Lord Cheese. Again, if you profited a lot on 0.18, then you're pretty much chilling. You should enjoy your profits. You shouldn't be panicking. But if you really want to jump back in the market structure, then just watch Ethereum and see how it plays out. Sooner or later, Doge will correct, and you can go from there. Let's see. When you say confirmation time for Shiba, is there a 24-hour EMA or the 4-hour that I need to? No, just the 4-hour is good enough for you. The 4-hour time frame, 4-hour exponential moving average is all you need for confirmations. Everything else is noise in between. You can even look at the daily time frame, the daily close. Daily time frame close is a super important level for a lot of people. So that closes in about 2 hours and 48 minutes. So that's pretty much the level you want to be paying attention to as well, right? So if the daily closes and it closes below the EMAs, you probably start seeing more nukes happen. If the daily closes above, you probably start seeing price volatility. But again, everything's dependent on Friday. This week is a news-based week, so you want to be very cautious. Let's see. Your name and NFTs, you can do you 10, 15 per. Yeah, okay, sweet. Maybe I'll talk to you super wild after, but yeah. What about BCH and the expected top? I really want to talk about BCH. Not a fan of BCH. We can talk about BCH. Oh, yeah, I figured why. BCH is just everyone's favorite scam. So anyway, so BCH, like I said, right now we had a huge period of consolidation. We broke out. BCH actually looks like a decent long into $700. Like this would be the next resistance level. There really isn't stopping this thing right now, which is why we're probably seeing such a big increase. So yeah, something like that would be right here, right there. So just about $750. Expected top, I don't know. I don't do price predictions like that, like where the next level is going to be for top. But I remember seeing BCH up here, 1500. So yeah, if it does end up breaking out, probably 2-3K. But again, I'm not doing price predictions here. It's up to you. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of BCH either. So yeah, like my TikTok careers, I don't know if you guys have. Here, give me a second. I don't know. Let me see it real quick. You know what I started doing now is because like I get so many haters now in terms of my videos, like in terms of Doge. I don't know why people just hate Doge. When I make a video on Doge and I'll be like, hey guys, like be cautious at a certain level, all the moon boys and retail traders will come out of the woodworks and be like, oh my god, no. So like at this point now, it's just like I lose IQ because like I know like half of these people probably have like portfolio sizing of like $3 and like it turns into a point where it's like I'm arguing with just air. So like at this point, I just started deleting comments and just banning people because I'm like, what's the point of sitting there? Like I have my analysis. It works pretty well for me. You know, people think that I'm bearish on Doge because, you know, oh, I don't have a bag of Doge. We bought Doge down here. Like I don't care. Like to me, Doge can continue rallying. I'm profiting anyways. I'm happy. I don't care. I hope Doge continues to pump. But for the people that are leveraging, that's why I make those videos on Doge, is because I want to give you guys a realistic perspective, right? Like the same thing as 0.17. I remember my first haters came from 0.17, and I remember this precisely. It was because of the fact that I said, guys, lock in those profits on 0.17, and we're looking for shorting setups on Doge now. And I've never seen that much hate in my life on my videos before. I had like 40 people say like, oh, you're an idiot, why are you shorting here? Doge is going to $1. Doge ended up falling, and I remember sending a message like when in the comments the guy was like, stop watching this guy's videos, he keeps shorting, market keeps going down. It was bearish on Doge. And like the same thing, right? Like I said, like, oh, okay, like pay attention to 0.11. That would be the first buy zone. Second buy zone, 0.124. We entered that zone. We entered that zone. Fed beating came out. That was a buy zone. People were like, oh my God, you missed it by 0.05 pennies. Like, you're an idiot. It's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. But yeah. What leverage amount do you recommend to use, Thomas? It depends on your margin, but usually if you're a beginner, I would recommend 5x mostly, like, and maximum 10x. There's no reason to go 20x, 30x, yada yada yada. We do sometimes, like I said, on Fridays we do 125x, but that's just like it's just tradition for us. We don't necessarily we don't do like crazy amounts. So yeah, that's just, again, it's just 125x for fun, but I usually keep it 5x or 10x max. That's about it. Yeah, no problem. All right, got you. So yeah, we're at the 45-minute mark. I am probably going to chill now and probably end the stream here, I think, unless you guys have any last-minute questions. But I will make a Doge video. I will make a Doge video soon. But yeah, the only thing about Doge, like I said, I'm not a fan of this ladder case to the upside. As long as you're up 0.168, you're bullish. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I hope everyone sees that. Yeah, no problem, guys. And Shiba video. Yeah, I'll make a Shiba video later tonight. Again, Shiba video, like, Shiba hasn't, like, the reason why I don't make Shiba videos every single day is because Shiba's not doing much. Like, you know, within the 4 hours, we're pretty much in the exact same range that I made the video on. So it's like in literally the exact same price right now. So maybe not. But yeah, like usually just fall back to the old video if I haven't made an update, is because there really isn't much of an update to make. So that's usually how it works. So yeah, no problem, guys. All right, yeah, I'll make Doge first, then I'll make Shiba, and then I gotta, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, all right, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming to the live session. And yeah, peace out.